to have on Liza Donnelly. Thank you for coming in.
My pleasure,
From
Ann.
New York City.
Thank you.
Famed cartoonist from the New Yorker.
Right.
Yes, famed.
Right.
I want to ask you, how did you start cartooning?
When I was a kid, really little, I was drawing, and then my mother gave me a book of cartoons, and I started tracing those, and found that I could make her laugh. I just wanted to make my mother laugh, and then I wanted to make my colleagues, my classmates laugh, and it's extended to the world now.
At big time world, which we'll talk
really.
about in just a second. When did you first get paid to cartoon? Do you remember that? When somebody said, "You're really good, we want to give you some money."
When was that? Well, in college, I got the Senior Purchase Prize Award for a cartoon, so that was the first time. It was $50, but it was like huge.
That's
deal.
huge money.
Yeah, well,
back then.
Yeah.
You've been at the New Yorker since 1982. Mm-hmm. Do you remember your first cartoon in print and what that meant to you?
Oh, yeah. It was thrilling. I mean, I'd always looked to the New Yorker as the place I wanted to be, because one thing I also wanted to do when I was young was be a political cartoonist, because I grew up in Washington, D.C. during a really difficult time in our country. Maybe not as difficult as now, but difficult time. And I wanted to help somehow. You know, I wanted to change the world as a young person. So I wanted to do political cartoons. And I looked at the New Yorker as a place that you could do political cartoons that were a little bit quieter, because they've always had political cartoons there, editorial cartoons. And I looked at them and I thought, well, if I could be in there, that's where I want to be. Also, they treat cartoons as art, which I kind of like.
Absolutely. Let's look at some of your cartoons just to whet appetites for those who are watching. I love this, the coat check and the puffy coat check. Not political, but hysterical.
Thank you.
Love this. Let's go to the second one. This says something about he can't come out and play right now because he's working on a screenplay. Right. So this is a very L.A.
Right. And that was actually one of the, they didn't have color in the New Yorker until, well, they had a little bit in the early days, but until that era, the 90s, I think, they introduced color in cartoons.
And how did they color it?
I colored it.
You colored it?
With watercolor.
Watercolor.
Yeah.
So you're a painter as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd say so. All right, the next one. Now, this is the Oscars. In 2016, you were asked to live draw, if that's the correct term, the Oscars. That's a big deal.
It was thrilling. It was great.
Where were you sitting to do this?
This is the red carpet, so I was given access before the event. So I got to walk around the red carpet and watch them setting things up, because I like to draw not just big name people, which I got to do, big celebrities. I like to draw the people behind the scenes, setting up, dragging Oscars statues down a
What's
runway.
really going on.
Yeah, right.
The story behind the story.
Right.
And we have two more pictures that I want to take a look at. The Taj Mahal.
Oh, yeah.
In India, which you just came back from.
I did.
And there's one more shot, and this one's in color. Now, how do you go to India and are told, we want you to live draw? Was it a conference?
I was invited to live draw a conference for the Hindustan Times, and so I did that. That was inside, and I live drew the people speaking and then some of the people in the audience. And then during the day, sorry, that was during the day. On other days, I would draw some of the people in the streets, and I got to go to the Taj Mahal. And I thought, well, I could just take a picture of this, but I really think I need to sit and draw it and get a feeling for it by drawing it. And I really great respect for the symmetry of that thing by trying to draw it symmetrically. It's so. Have you been there?
I have not. And how long did it take you to draw that? Like 5 seconds?
No, that took longer.
Oh, you actually took time.
Yeah.
Because what you have fallen into is live drawing, live tweeting. You just drew a picture. I'm going to assume it's of me. Can you punch that up? And we'll take a look at this. And I'm just going to show it on camera here. Now, I saw you draw this in about 10 seconds, maybe less. And I'm in awe, as I told you, because I can't even draw a stick figure. So this is what people are inviting you to do, to come to an event, to the Grammys, to the BET Awards, to the Emmys, and draw a story. Actually. If I asked you to draw something else, can you talk and draw at the same time?
A little bit.
Okay.
I'll try.
So as we're talking...
You're asking for new skills here.
Something new. You do this on an iPad, and you decided that this was going to be a way to do this, and how did you discover that?
Well, I don't know if I can do this at the same time.
Okay.
I was given an iPad, and I was sitting in front of my television watching the State of the Union address one year, and started drawing what I saw on the TV. And what you can do is you can tweet it out immediately. And I like Twitter. It suits my personality, and
That's where I found you. You and I talked.
Yeah, right. I've made a lot of great friends on Twitter. And I tweeted the drawings out and realized that I struck a nerve, I think, because people responded very soon thereafter, quickly, to what I was doing. It's like somebody who's really into social media told me once, my drawings are thumb stoppers. So people are scrolling through Twitter, and then all of a sudden they see this thing and they go back to see what it is, because it's colorful, it's bright, it's
and you can see it on analytics, how many people are stopping on
yeah, I don't really pay attention to analytics, but
oh, well, you should. I'm just going to ask you to draw something Christmassy.
Well,
it can be anything.
usually my live drawings are from life. I'm going to be politically correct here, although I hate that word, and draw. This is not necessarily a Christmas present. It could be a Hanukkah present too. So, and what I feel like these drawings are, they're conversation. A lot of people tell me on Twitter that they love watching events through my drawings. Like maybe they can't watch the Oscars that year, the Grammys. They'll watch it through Twitter, through my drawings, and they enjoy that.
And then you color.
It's my perspective, and they feel like they've been there. They feel like they're there in some way. How
important is it for you to continue to do your political cartoons? I mean, you say a lot with those.
Thank you. I try to say a lot, but I try to be. I'm a more careful editorial cartoonist. I don't. My idea is that cartoons are conversation. They're ideas. We're sharing ideas with each other, and not so much about my opinion of something. You know, it's more conversation.
Right, and I think through the years they have been very, very well received in the New Yorker and other places.
Well, thank you.
You've been live drawing for, as we said, the Oscars, the Emmys, Golden Globes, Grammys, BET Awards, Olympics. The Olympics, how interesting was that? And
that was from television.
That was from television.
I didn't get to go there.
But that's okay. So I'm going to show just this little drawing that took you 3 seconds to draw of a gift.
Can I sign it?
Yes, you can sign it. Can you sign it this way?
I think I can. It'll be in yellow.
Adorable. When you were watching the Olympics on television, I mean, who called you up? Did they say, "Hey, we want you to do this for TV," and tweet it out? How did that deal come about?
I think I approached the New Yorker. I was not yet working for CBS. I approached the New Yorker, and I asked them if I could live draw. I think maybe I'd already done some live drawing with the New Yorker on their website, and I just said, can I cover the Olympics? And we talked, my editor and I talked about it, and came up with the idea of covering the ice skating, which is visually, and I did cover some of the sledding. That was fun.
What are you looking for as you're watching figure skating? When you did your drawings, what are you looking for?
Well, I'm trying to depict the person, the essence of the person, I guess. The colors. I try to get the feeling of whatever it is I'm seeing. I'm not a caricaturist. I don't pretend to get people perfectly right. I get the feeling of the person. I try to get the feeling of the person anyway.
As I was reading, you have an honorary doctorate from UConn.
I do.
What
Isn't that crazy?
What does that mean to you? Well, you married a guy that went to UConn, yes?
I did.
What does that mean to you to have an honorary doctorate?
Oh, it was a great honor. They gave me a doctorate for my work in women's rights and peace work. I do a lot of cartoons about women's issues and a lot of cartoons about peace and international issues, and it was a thrill, and I got to speak to like a huge stadium full of people.
And make your message heard.
Yeah.
You were also the culture envoy for the U.S. State Department.
I've done that a couple of times.
What does that mean?
The State Department, and people probably don't know this, they have a program of speakers. So they have a store of speakers at their beck and call to go to countries, to State Departments, to outposts that are interested in having that particular expert go. So it's not just cartoonists. There's a group of cartoonists that are on their list, but I think they also have actors and writers and other things that go to these countries and talk about their craft and talk to people, local people.
You've authored many books, 16, 18. We're not sure there's so many of them. You do public speaking. You cartoon. What's next for you? What are you not doing that you still want to do?
You know, I haven't really thought. I'm really excited right now about this storytelling with the iPad and the drawing and exploring people. I'm combining drawings, these live drawings, with video and audio. I'm trying to experiment with new forms in that way. I don't know, just keep, like we talked earlier, we just keep finding what's interesting and exciting and trying to communicate with people that way.
If somebody said to you, you're going to spend your life drawing cartoons, is that pretty much what you set out to do and you did it? Or are you surprised by what happened?
I'm surprised that I got to do this for as long as I have. But that's what I wanted to do when I was little. So I really am very lucky.
And are people trying to emulate you? Have they tried to copy you? Are there some out there?
There are people trying to do the live drawing thing, yep.
Yeah, but you're first to market, as
well,
they say.
I'm first to do it with this technology, I think. One of the first. If there's somebody out there, let me know. I think I'm the first person to do it and tweet it out immediately and go to places and do this. Live drawing has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
On paper.
But you just picked the medium.
And I couldn't do this 3-4 years ago. I didn't really do live drawing. This is a new skill that I discovered I had.
What have you said to the world, do you think, through your work? And have you said it all yet, or is there a lot to say? I mean, because you have made an impact through your type of storytelling. Yes. What does that feel like? I'm sure people must have said to you, you know, your cartoon just nailed it. That was perfect.
That's so rewarding to hear that. I know that my humor doesn't appeal to everybody, and you can't nobody can do that, right? Because humor is subjective. I had somebody on Twitter say to me the other day, and I'm not going to get the quote right, but it was such a nice thing to hear. He said, seeing a Liza cartoon makes me feel better. And it was just a drawing. It wasn't necessarily a political cartoon, but there's something about, there's something about my drawings that are sort of calming to some people. Not the stronger political ones, and not the feminist strong ones necessarily. That I sometimes try to make people think and push the boundaries in a quiet way. But many of my cartoons are just quiet conversation. I'll post things on Twitter that have no context, just like, hello, you know, how are you doing? Which is what people do with Twitter sometimes.
I think I'm finding you such a humble person for all that you have done over these many decades. Which is so refreshing, actually. You've created a lot of art for people to think about, and books and spoken, tried to make the world a better place, tried to make people laugh. I think you've achieved that.
Well, thank you. It's nice to
see how humble you are.
Well,
all right. For anybody,
we all just do what we can, right?
For anybody who wants to know more about Liza, it's lizadonnelly.com, and you will find a myriad of cartoons there. Spend a couple of hours. It'll be worth it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ann.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Spend all night kissing and the bottle's right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm so wishing to find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store, but mine, just to save time, I'll skip right ahead to the last ride. The harder we look, the less we can see. Don't you know that you need me?